Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about my latest computer build that I'm working on. It's going to be based on the B550 chipset from AMD, as well as the Ryzen 5600X. It's the Ryzen 5 5600X. I had a lot of trouble getting this. I was planning on doing this video a few weeks back, but I was unable to source this at MSRP until just recently. So B&HPhoto was able to notify me. A couple days later I had it in my hand, so that's awesome. As soon as I had it, I went on Newegg, placed the order for the rest of the stuff, and somehow within 1 day, literally I placed the order, next day I had the stuff in my hand. So it's like overnight. I'm not sure how that worked, but I didn't pay any extra, and that's amazing, and I thank Newegg for that. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about why I chose these parts, and then I'm going to get to the build. So this is a 6-core 12-thread part right here. It's a 65-watt part, and it's capable of PCI Express 4.0. That's one of the big things I was looking at coming into this generation. I'm coming off of a system that's 10 years old at this point. It's the previous build that I did, which was the Athlon 2 X4 630 using the 770 chipset. So that's a ways back, 10 years back, you know. It still works fine, still does everything I need it to do, but it's really slow at this point. So that's why I'm going to be, from last generation, this is looking at like almost a 25% bump in IPC. And the stuff that I do, a whole lot of threads, a whole lot of cores, doesn't matter as long as you have a few cores. Those are clocked really high and can do a lot of tasks at once. So that's where this is going to come in handy. It's more than enough cores for what I'm doing, and it's going to be a huge bump in performance for what I'm trying to do with it. I really wish it would have came with the rate spire rather than just the rate for the heatsink. Especially considering that it's a $50 price bump. I mean, people say it's supposed to have been around $250, and they went to $300 this time around. I guess I can justify the price for what you're getting, but the spire would have been nice to see included with this. Because I don't like the idea of the heatsink ramping up, ramping down every time you try to do something with it. So in conjunction with that, that kind of forced me to get an aftermarket heatsink, which I went with the Hyper 212 Black Edition, the RGB. It's like $30, and it's going to keep it so the noise levels are hopefully inaudible from the processor when it's under load or not. I don't plan to be overclocking this guy or anything right out of the box. Just I'm going to see how it works as is. As far as the PCI Express 4.0 capability, I'm looking at the Samsung 980 Pro PCI Express 4.0 SSD. Is the NVMe M.2, 500 gigs, super fast. I think it's one of the fastest ones out there right now. It's 7,000 up to 7,000 megabytes reads, and it's almost 1 million IOPS if I'm not mistaken. That's from memory. You have to go check that one. But I think you can do a lot of simultaneous tasks with this guy here, which is good for the main operating system of your system. As far as the memory goes, 3600 is supposed to be the sweet spot for this guy. This board is capable of, I want to say, close to 4,000, DDR4 4000, but I didn't see a need to spend the extra money on that, considering that the gains for what I'm trying to do are not really there. You're talking about like a couple percent, if that. And so what I went with is a 3200 megahertz, but really nice timings. And that's the reason I went with this kit here. There's two kits of 16, 3200 megahertz. The timings are CL16, so that's really nice timings for that guy. And 32 gigs, and it was like 120, so that's a really amazing price for that. The gains you're going to see going from this to 3600, which is the sweet spot, is not a huge amount, and you really don't see a whole lot of gains, and other than synthetic benchmarks going to like 4,000. and it does cost a whole lot more. So as of right now, you don't see any real world benefit. Why go there? I mean, maybe in the future, but right now that's what I'm going with, a 3200 32 gig kit, CL16, and the power supply there, that's a budget option as well. It's a $30 power supply. It's a 550 watt NE550C. It's a 5-year warranty. It's made by Antec. I've never had a problem with Antec before. It's got flat cables. They're all black, so there's no multicolored cables in there. It has high temperature Japanese capacitors, and it has active power factor correction, which is if you see any fluctuations in your power, it takes care of that ripple for you, which is pretty much standard nowadays. And it's also rated 80 plus bronze. So I mean, you get all of that and a 5-year warranty for $30. You can't beat it. And that's amazing. I don't know if I mentioned this was $130 for one of the fastest SSDs you can get right now. So that, I mean, even that's an amazing deal. Prices of this stuff is so sweet nowadays. I mean, back when SSDs first came out, they were astronomical. As far as the main board goes, I was planning on going with the B550 Aorus Elite, but I ended up going with the AX because I wanted the Wi-Fi that was built in on this board. Other than that, both boards are pretty similar. And then you can get the V2 of this board if you want USB Type-C, the header on there for your case. So you have a Type-C connection on your case and you want the header. This case here doesn't have that header or anything, and so I figured I'm going to save the $10. I'm going to go with the just a regular Aorus Elite AX. I'm paying about $10 more than the Elite just for the Wi-Fi. So this one turned out to be about $170. And the reason I'm going, I could have saved a whole lot of money on the motherboard, but the reason I'm going with this is that it has a really nice VRM design, and it has a really nice heatsink design on there. It's going to keep everything cool. You can really you have a lot of headroom when it comes to temperatures. You can overclock almost anything using this board here, and you don't have to worry about the board having any kind of temperature issues. So that's as far as stability goes. I don't plan to overclock anything, but as far as stability goes, that tells you that it's really overbuilt. The VRM is really overbuilt. I mean, other boards compared to this, their temperatures are 10, 15, 20 degrees higher on the VRM. So that's one of the big things I was looking at. It's a Gigabyte board, Aorus. The one that I had that's been going strong for the past 10 years, that one was a Gigabyte Ultra Durable. And so I'm sticking with Gigabyte for now just because I've had good experience with Gigabyte products before. So we'll see how that goes. It's a nice overall well laid out design. It's got two M.2s on there, the PCI Express 4.0 16 for your graphics card, and it's got just all the traditional stuff plus Wi-Fi. So if you don't need Wi-Fi, you just go with the Elite. It'd be the same thing basically. And as far as the case goes, this is a budget case from Bitfenix, the Nova Mesh second edition TG, so tempered glass, and it says full ARGB, which is addressable RGB fans. Comes with 4 of those. It's a nice, small, compact, full ATX case. It's got a glass window on the side. It was only $65, so that's amazing that you can get 4 addressable fans and the case for $65. That's pretty cool. As far as everything else goes, some of you may have noticed that the one thing I'm missing for this build is a new video card to pair with the system. I'm looking to get the RTX 3060 as soon as it launches in a few days. If I'm able to pick one of those up, that's my ideal card. If I'm able to pick up a 3060 Ti 3070. All these at retail would be well within my budget for this build. As far as right now, I'm going to be using my old GTX 460 so I can get the system up and running, get some benchmarks going, and just make sure everything is working with each other, and I don't have any kind of hardware issues at the moment. So without much more to say, as far as the build goes, a lot of my footage of the build inside the case wasn't really usable, so I ended up just taking that stuff out to kind of shorten the video. So I kind of sped through the build a little bit. It's not a comprehensive build guide, it's just a quick little build montage and then a quick little clip at the end showing the finished product. And so I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. And I really appreciate the comments down below. If you have any suggestions on how I might be able to pick up a 3060 on launch day. If there's any other questions that you guys have, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.